What's up, everybody? Today, in our first wide receiver spotlight of the 2020 season, we'll be going over Davante Adams' huge week one against Minnesota. The writing was on the wall here. They got two young corners, a little inexperienced. Davante's a vet, and he's had a lot of success against Minnesota. His first reception on the day comes off a cross ball motion. Oftentimes, you'll get a corner that softens up, which Green Bay gets here. He's just going to work a quick out. Quick out versus cushion is essentially routes on air for us. You'll notice he puts a little bit more force into the ground here on a speed cut because of the cover defender being a little bit tighter to route depth. He can't roll over with as much depth as normal. Second route of the day becomes another outbreaker. This one a little bit deeper. Davante does a great job pushing vertical before rolling over. DB zone turns, could chase the near hip here, but on an outbreaker, it might be a little bit tight to the sideline. Once again, he's a little tight to route depth, but he's bailing. So we're still treating this as cushion at depth. Speed cut is the way to win here. He does a nice job finishing negative. Third reception of the day comes on an in breaker where he's working on the mic. I don't believe this is an option route. I think he wants to win in here, judging by the way he attacks the mic. This is not the first time they've run this against Minnesota. Davante actually scored a touchdown on this last year. One thing that's worth noting is where he makes his move on this cover defender. He leaves himself enough space so the DB cannot jack him up, slow his route down. He misses clean. He avoids collision. This is one thing that separates Davante from a lot of different receivers. He can do everything exceptionally well, but his ability to make people miss with or without the ball, create separation, is truly elite. Davante's fifth reception comes off cross ball motion again into a tight bunch. Essentially extension of the run game. They got 3 over 2. Catch, throw it out there. Davante does a nice job getting vertical. His sixth reception comes on a scramble drill. Looks like he had a corner route. Tough to tell because we don't have the all 22 right now. But he does a great job coming off his route. Working back downhill, knowing where he is on the field, getting both feet down in the end zone. Once again, great job by Rodgers, always improvising, always creating. Ninth reception on the day comes on a stop or a fallout route. Terminology is arbitrary. Great job attacking in his vertical stem. Vertical, and then he sinks his hips. Does a nice job snapping down or using a trigger step to start that deceleration. Davante's 13th reception of the day and his second touchdown comes on a flat route, shoot route, arrow, whatever you want to call it, down at the goal line. He works a split release where he brings his back foot even with his front foot, presenting as a two-way go, and he's going to drive off that inside foot to burst to the pylon. Now watch the separation that split release creates. That's all we need down here at the goal line. When the throw is on time, the DB is going to be late every single time. Davante is going to make his 14th and final reception on a go ball. You want to say he works his patented hezzy release here, where he kind of takes a skip or a hezzy hop or a hezzy jab to freeze the DB. Now, you look at the position right now of Davante versus his cover defender. It's basically a race near to the goal line, essentially. And the DB is facing forward with both feet in the ground, whereas Davante is facing where he needs to go in a position to accelerate. That's all he needs to create the separation. We often mention it that Davante probably runs a slower 40-yard dash than the cover defender he's going against, but he manipulates space and creates separation so efficiently that it really does not matter. Another thing Davante does really well here is he looks late for the football. He does not start tracking the ball early because it could really slow you down. He actually drives for 3 more strides after he's even with the DB before he even tries to find the football. The other thing worth noting is, and it's very common when guys start to track the football, is they'll kind of open up that inside shoulder almost towards the quarterback, and it'll slow them down while they're really trying to separate from the DB. The analogy I like to use is you never see 100-meter sprinters running with their shoulders open down the track, right? They're always parallel to the finish line. In our case, really parallel to the goal line. We really don't want to turn our whole body. We kind of just want to leave our chin on our collarbone and try and keep those shoulders parallel as best as possible. Here are a couple more examples of that hezzy release from Davante Adams. If he works at hesitation and they stay inside or stay square, he's releasing outside and he's going to win with speed. All right, guys, that's the end of our first wide receiver spotlight. First time doing it, we'll definitely get more smooth with it. Plan on doing it every week. Obviously, the wide receiver of the week will change based on who produces. Appreciate your time and hope you're able to learn something.